Hello there, I'm Callum and welcome to Fun Facts! And welcome back to the EU 101, where I will answer your questions about expanded universe lore, mainly. So, I've done a couple, but now I will talk about a question that someone said is there one biome for every planet in Star Wars? And I've heard this come up a bit. I just think that people need to look at it a little bit more, even in the movies, because there's not, but single biomes are the most common planets in Star Wars. And I think that reflects what we see in the real world, and that's what it's based off as well, is that a lot of the moons, smaller planets like Pluto, even if it's a dwarf planet, that's a subsection of planets, so technically, but also from observations of other planets that I know about, they have single biomes rather than multiple biomes like here on Earth does. And so that is probably why a lot of people chose in Star Wars to have single biome planets. But I think good examples of multi-biome planets are even in the movies. Older on, we don't really get to see much, but when we go back in time a bit, this is in the EU, we do see that Alderaan has some snowy area up in mountains and stuff, and some different biomes, and this is just off the top of my head, and there's probably some other areas, but it very much looked like a reflection of how here on Earth is, and so would have some variants of biomes there. But also, we have Kashyyyk, which we see clearly in movies, and I am including the holiday special in this one. Because in the holiday special you see the dense woods and a very much tropical type rainforest look and atmosphere for it. That's the biome of it. But in Revenge of the Sith we see the beachhead mainly. Of course the rice oak trees are growing around there and stuff, but it's clearly a quite different biome around the beach area compared to in the rainforesty area there. And I would also speculate about Coruscant. Now, as it is that it became that we see, is very much a city planet where they control the weather and everything. But even like in the Thrawn trilogy, they have the Mannerheim Mountains that are still sticking up outside of some of the city buildings. So I would say before everyone started to control the weather, build up and become so industrialized, we haven't seen it. But humanity grew to be what it is, or humans, in Star Wars, the main ones anyway, on Coruscant. And so I believe that we would have similar setting to Earth on Coruscant before it was over-industrialized, because then that would lead to similar evolution of humans. And in that way, thinking of all of the environmental factors and all of that in evolution. I won't go too in depth, but that is what I think there. And yeah, some of the real world planets that have single biomes, we just see in our own solar system, right? We've got Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, all single biomes. And so I think that it makes sense that a lot of them are single biomes, especially for the types of stories. Like, I remember definitely there being some multiple biome planets in other stories, but I just forget the names of the planets that specifically have multiple biomes, and maybe as I read I might note some down somewhere in my reviews and stuff. But other than that, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, pretty much not every single planet has one biome, and many more than what I listed were part of the Star Wars universe that have multiple biomes, and I just forget the names of them. Those are just the most common ones we will probably know. So, pretty quick one. I think it's a pretty easy question as far as logic goes. Like, it doesn't make sense for every single planet to have a single biome, but it makes it interesting when you have aliens that depend on a certain environment for their evolution to have the whole planet that biome where they're from and all of that stuff. Oh, Dathomir as well. You see that in the Clone Wars series, we got a swampy Dathomir, and then we also have other parts of Dathomir in Courtship of Princess Leia and other stories. Plus, we have Mandalore, which has its cities, but then we also see via a retcon, and this may not be something people like as much, but Mandalore that we see in TCW versus Mandalore in the Republic Commando series, that was retconned to be two separate parts of the planet, and so we have multiple biomes there too. There we go, and different bits and pieces. But yeah, I'm sure there's more examples, I just can't think of them off the top of my head. So there we go. So that's pretty much that. There is the majority of single biomes, but there are multi-biome planets in the Star Wars universe. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to put your own thoughts in the comments. Hoorah!